For our stream sampling, we went out to Reynolds Nature Preserve, which is very close to the university, and they've been our partner for a long time, several years, and it's worked out so nicely. Here, Kieran, my student, and I are measuring the creek, and we check on the velocity to see how fast the water is flowing. And the next batch of protocols that we've got is, of course, the chemistry. And here we are taking a sample to check on the dissolved oxygen. Now, dissolved oxygen ends up being a pretty important parameter for Georgia Adopt-A-Stream. It really sets the tone for what can live in the creek. Right here you see Kieran doing a little bit of a pH test, and she's adding an indicator right there that'll change color depending on how much acid is in the water. And this glass vial will go into a little comparator box where we can check on the pH and read it and determine how much we've got. In this case, it looks like the pH is right about 6.5. Very nice. This is normal for this kind of creek, and it's really normal for this particular creek. Here we are back to the dissolved oxygen, and this is kind of nice because it shows a titration in action, and this is where we actually measure the amount of dissolved oxygen that's in the water. Here we've got Kieran with a D-frame net, and this is how we actually catch the macroinvertebrates that we're looking for. And you can see we're going through several different habitats here. When you dump out the net, it's kind of an exciting part of the process because you get to see what you caught, and you never know what you're going to get. In this case, ironically, the first thing out of the net is a salamander. And salamanders are not macroinvertebrates. They're vertebrates. They have a backbone, but they're always nice to see. Anytime you find a salamander, it tends to indicate you've got good habitat. Here's our first macroinvertebrate, which is a nice big dragonfly larva. You can see it right there. And there's a few other things swimming around in the mud there. And you got to pick through and make sure you got everybody out of the sample that you're there to find. Picking the pan, going through the pan and making sure you've got all the macroinvertebrates sorted is another part of the process as well. And this is when we can count and identify exactly what we've got. Now, in these little trays here, what we do is we sort out the different types. So, for instance, I know I saw a case-building caddisfly back there somewhere. Okay, here we've got a nice shot of the case building, excuse me, not the case building. We've got a common net spinning caddisfly over on the left side. There we've got a couple of them there. On the right side, we've got some little squirmy ones. Those are midges. Now, these are kind of an interesting contrast because caddisflies are worth 3 points on a 3-point scale, whereas a midge is only worth 1 point. And here, Karen's showing me what she's got, and she found one that she's never found before, which is kind of cool, to see a student go through that discovery process. Turns out she found a real good one. These are mayflies. Anytime you find a mayfly, it tends to indicate good water quality. They're worth 3 points on the 3-point scale, and they're just nice to find. And Reynolds is one of the few places that I can find them in Clayton County. So, it just speaks to how good Angel Creek is. And there you've got even a case-building caddisfly. So, nice, very nice creek.